Hello, this is Greg Galson Green Greg's coming to you on the 25th of January, 22. Time on deck is 020700 hours in the wee hours of the morning. Yes, on this Tuesday morning. I will post this video later today. Now, that said, guys, I got to ask you, are we on the precipice of the war? Is it about to begin? Will it be a matter of days, a matter of just a few weeks? We're going to talk about that because why? Because the United States has committed an aircraft carrier group and 8,500 troops to NATO. You might recall President Biden said we wouldn't put United States troops into Ukraine, that he wouldn't. But NATO, under NATO command, it's a different, that's according to whatever the NATO commander decides. It's a very different matter as to how those troops may or may not be used. Now, most likely they'll be put to the borders or in the general areas of interest should the conflict break out. How far will they push them? Will we push Putin to the limit? Now, it might be known that the NATO commander is from the Netherlands, not from the more, either side of the spectrum, which is more middle of the road than what we might get from France or Germany. So that might be some solace to you. I don't know, my friends, but we are coming into very perilous times. The ante is getting kicked up because this is the kind of red lines that Putin said do not cross. We're going right up to them. Now we're basically calling his bluff. If it was a bluff, if it wasn't a bluff, then Putin's not the kind of guy to back up and keep drawing new red lines. He's KGB's hard-nosed. So let's see what happens. Can he back it up? Will he back it up? Do we go to conflict? What does it mean? Wow. We're going to talk about that for just a little bit. But now I'm not going to be laying blame so much here. We might talk a little bit about both sides of these dimensions. A lot of people lay blame one way or the other. But the bottom line is, what does it mean for you? What does it mean here in the United States and around the world? Conflict is bad. It means lots of things, very bad, especially if it escalates to nuclear war. Let's hope that if there is a conflict, that it don't do that, but it can do that. And even a big cyber attack, an EMP attack, all these things could be extremely catastrophic to whoever they fall upon. And we expect the United States may very well be a major target. You guys in Europe, oh my gosh, Russia's right now running around doing live fire exercises around Ireland. And the Irish aren't too particularly fond of that, and they're telling them to cease and desist. Are they paying attention? Not so much. So what's going to happen, guys? Why is he doing that? What's Ireland got to do with this? Wow, it's getting interesting. It's getting just a little bit too interesting. I bring you this as part of my eyes wide open and head on a swivel series, so you know that you got to get ready. My friends, right now, if you're not prepped, I'm just going to have to pray for you. I've been telling you to get prepped for a long time. I've been saying prep now for some time. Guys, you better run out and get your emergency stuff. You better do it right now. I don't know how long this is going to last. It might be hours. It might be minutes. It might be days. Hey, we'll cross our fingers and pray that these things don't happen. But holy smoke, guys, it's looking a lot like the Cuban Missile Crisis, and I'm not sure how the outcome's going to come out this time. I just don't know yet. It's not written in the cards. We do know there's certain things in the prophecies. We just don't know when those are coming to pass. But holy smoke, guys, holy smoke. What you know is you got to get ready. So because I bring you this story and I bring you more things like this, please subscribe to my channel, bring the update notification bell and click all. And I'm going to be doing a video later today, a live video as a continuation that we did a couple of days ago of the first 24 hours, what to do for a grid down EMP nuclear event. We're going to get taken into the next 24 hours. It's mostly going to be on the grid down side of the next 24 hours with Stacy Savicki. So this time it's going to be live for your Q&A. I'm expecting that at 8 p.m. on today, the 25th of January. And if you're watching this video afterwards, go look for that video because it should already be recorded. Good Lord willing, and we're still here. So there you go. That's why you need to subscribe to the channel, bring the notification bell, and click calls because I'll bring you a lot of good content like this. And that is excellent content with good, solid advice with things you need to do to take care of yourself and your family. And I do have a lot of other videos that cover those kind of things, especially in the areas of gardening, your food supply, which is going to be real critical, raising worms. And, I got how sanitized, purified water, wild edibles, all that's very important stuff. I will do more bushcraft stuff in the future, good Lord willing. we're still here. But in the meantime, my friends, I got a very good special right now running that will help you make it through tough times. I got a special. If you go to prepwithgreg.com, you can get $150 off a 3-month supply of food that lasts 25 years and gives you 2,000 calories a day. That'll help keep hunger away, at least till you get a growing season going again, right? And if you're worried about nuclear winter, you might want to get a few sets of that, because it might be a few years, but it lasts 25 years. That's the good thing. 2,000 calories a day. That's not the starvation rations that a lot of the competitors have, and they still have stock. They have supplies, $150 off. So they introduced that great bargain, $150 off 3-month supply, and they got $50 off a 4-week supply, which is 2 of these buckets. One of these buckets is 2 weeks. So the 3-month supply is 6 of these buckets. Guys, this is 2 weeks worth of food, but yet it's lightweight. You see that? You can have your kids carry it around. Why? Because it's dehydrated. You can rehydrate it. Again, see my how to purify and sanitize water video, and you can take care of those needs if you need to. Plus also the supplies for purifying water can be found at prepwithgreg.com. If you click on the My Page Supply logo, you can find all kinds of prepping supplies in there. So check it out, my friends. Like that said, let's get into this. Let's share some articles here real quick. I hope I ain't too long tonight. It is late. I got other things to do before I go to bed. All right, guys. Greg Allison is a busy puppy. Look at this, guys. NATO. Here we are, guys. It's got under its command now the USS Harry Truman Strike Group. See, this is the aircraft carrier and its strike group. The USS Harry Truman is operating in the Mediterranean right now with all its naval personnel under the command of NATO. The aircraft carrier group under NATO command. It says that is not in the Baltic Sea. Okay, well, yeah, it's in be the Mediterranean right now, but it might move around. Will it go into the Black Sea? It don't probably have to go all the way into the Black Sea to affect the Black Sea. I mean, it could get right up the other side of the strait there, controlled by Turkey, because the aircraft could launch probably into that area and do some sorties if that was what they wanted to do, and protect the aircraft carrier from getting in that bucket that's the Black Sea. So I don't know, guys. Some of the strike group might go into there. Who knows what is going to happen, how this is going to play out. Other ships may come under the command. Check this out here. Pentagon puts 8,500 troops on high alert over Russian-Ukraine tensions. Well, from the way I've heard it, they're actually already placed or set to be placed under the command of NATO. These are ground troops. This was according to John Kirby, who's the spokesman for the Pentagon. He did a press conference today earlier, and he talked about this. And if you listen to him, it's not they're placing them straight under. These guys got 1 week to get ready. Basically, they got about a week to get ready to be deployed. So these guys are being rushed. Look here. In some cases, units' time to prepare would move down from 10 days down to 5 days. These guys are being told be ready to roll in 5 days. And like this may be National Guardians. They got a lot of paperwork to process, and they got to do their wills and their shots and all that stuff. And they got to be on their way. 5 days. This is extreme urgency, guys. 5 days. Well, what does that mean? I'm going to come back to that in just a second here. NATO sends ships and fighter jets to Eastern Europe over Russian threat. What did Russia say? We don't want you in Eastern Europe, back out of Eastern Europe. It's one of our red lines, and yet we're going right in. Right in. So it's not just U.S. forces. Every single NATO nation is adding forces to this, not just the United States. Okay. Well, let's go okay or not. Okay, I'm not really asking for your approval or agreement. This is what is, guys. We're covering what is. Whether it is or isn't right, where it should or shouldn't be, this is what is going down. This is what is happening. This is what you need to be aware of. Ukraine crisis. Russia vows to respond appropriately as NATO deploys fighter jets. Whatever appropriately means. Russia has vowed to respond appropriately. Now, what is appropriately? By tit for tat, or are they going to move something? I don't know, guys. What does so we get a lot of potentials. We start getting eyeball to eyeball across borders for mistakes, misjudgments, and things to happen. That's the problem. That's the issue here. So let's come back to this. I'm going to stop the share. There we go. That's just a background. 5 to 10 days. From 10 days to 5 days. What does that mean? They got to get over there in a hurry. Now, if you're Vladimir Putin, here's the deal with Putin. He's got about 3 weeks left in which the ground in Ukraine is still frozen solid. It's very important for him to move those tanks and all that heavy equipment he's got in Ukraine should he decide to invade. He's got enough equipment now arrayed from Belarus. They said they were going to Belarus to train, but you have to put everything on the border. But yet they say, oh no, we have absolutely vehemently denied that any intention whatsoever to invade Ukraine. Of course, if you didn't plan to do that, you wouldn't say you were going to do it. Yet they're using there's these border threats as pretense to throw out potential treaties with the United States, which basically rolls everything back to about 1917, and which includes basically Russia having Finland. Well, Finland's not happy, you might say. So Finland's actually and Sweden are now looking to want to join NATO. So there's a lot of blowback from the kind of objectives that Putin had in a lot of these countries that were sitting on the fence are now suddenly wanting to be in NATO because they're getting afraid of the Russians. And so let's look at that. Let's talk about this a little bit. What's going to happen here? 5 days. What is that? So Putin realized he's got a short time, and he's realizing the American forces are about to mobilize somewhere. How long, if he's going to move, how long is he going to wait? He's only got about 3 weeks to pull this off. They can probably pull it off in 5 to 10 days in terms of the whole invasion. I mean, yeah, he could blitzkrieg into Ukraine, probably take it over in about 17, I don't know, maybe 3 days, 72 hours. How long is it going to take for him to take the entirety of the country, given he's got it surrounded by from amphibious forces in the south, Crimea, the forces of the east, the Donbass area up in Belarus. He's got 3 sides of Ukraine surrounded by heavy forces. Now, you typically need a 3-to-1 advantage if you're the invader over the one being invaded, typically. Russia probably has better systems, but on the Ukraine side, they got very good anti-tank systems. That's another reason. Missiles and stuff, javelins, tows. That's another reason that the Russian forces want to move fast and do it while the ground's solid, because once it thaws out, all that soil of our turns to a muck. It's like quicksand. It's a black clay. It just don't support vehicles. So he's going to want to make this move very, very fast if he's going to do it. He's going to do it within weeks, probably. Now, given that we're trying to deploy forces over in 5 to 10 days, you'd think he would want to move before our forces get over there and be in place. Now, guys, if they start moving in 5 days, it'd probably take a day or 2 to get over and get situated. So it's probably a week. He would probably want to move his within 5 days, maybe sooner. They may just go ahead at any time, any moment it could happen. Russia could roll into Ukraine. What will that mean? It will mean that we're putting our forces all over the other eastern countries that he said was his red lines. Now he says he's going to match that tit for tat. They're talking about putting forces in Cuba. Apparently the Russians are in negotiations with Cuba right now. And he talked about Venezuela. I talked about Venezuela, how that was a potential soft spot that the United States could be attacked from, or Cuba even more so, right under our soft underbelly, where we don't have the radars and stuff to be monitoring for that kind of stuff at the moment. Oh, well, we better fix that stuff. And we should have listened to Ambassador Hank Cooper. He used to run the SDL program. When he talked at the Space Defense, when he talked at my Power Grid Defense Conference back in 2016, telling us we need an Aegis ashore down on the Gulf Shore with all the radars and everything. He's been championing that all this time, and nobody listens. Yeah, well, if you'd been listening, we might have been a little better prepared today for these kind of eventualities, but it didn't happen. Hasn't happened. Maybe we can make it happen. I've had him on this channel, by the way, Ambassador Hank Cooper. I've interviewed him, one of the top level Pentagon officials who actually ran the Strategic Defense Initiative Organization office, one of the top level offices in the Pentagon. So, and I'll probably get him on again. Maybe he wants to. Maybe we talk about the Taliban taking over Pakistan's nukes. He's a little bit concerned about that. All right. So all this said, guys, we could be in there and in war with Russia in just days. Russia could be rolling immediately. How long till we get involved? Will Russia give us a big cyber attack or an EMP attack? They've already been cyber attacking systems over here. Was that just test runs? It's been said that they're all into our stuff, cyber-wise. China's something allied to them. China's got all this backdoor stuff. Oh, China! Oh my gosh, I should be doing a video on China too. Yeah, they just had 52 warplanes from China to buzz Taiwan, and we've got two aircraft fighter. We got two aircraft. Aircraft carrier strike groups. I get too excited, I can't talk. We have two aircraft carrier strike groups in the South China Sea right now. Whoo! Yeah, this is two front, guys. This is two front. You better be prepping. I'm serious. You better be prepping, because if we don't get into it with Russia, we might be getting into it with China. Holy smoke, guys. So, or both. China's really up the ante on Taiwan lately. Maybe they're taking advantage of the distractions. People aren't noticing it too much with Russia. Russia's got a whole lot more formidable weapons suite that we don't want to get into. We don't want to be receiving into this stuff. So Russia could be, let's hope if it happens, it's conventional. Let's hope it stays conventional. Now, here's what 3 things to bear in mind. Russia is putting contract troops into Ukraine. Well, that actually means 3 things. 1, it means that he don't want to risk having body bags come home of Russians. 2, that fact means he is more likely to want to roll in to Ukraine. But 3, maybe he's also realizing that they may take extreme heavy losses, and maybe he's prepared to take that should the United States respond, or even Ukraine. You know, like again, I said, if you're an invaded army, you may take some heavy losses. So he's expecting to take the losses. If he's got those contract forces, that's what he's got lined up. He's more inclined to go in. They vehemently deny it, but if you really don't plan to do it, why are you still just throwing more and more and more stuff out there? We're talking not 20 boxcars, but 20 train loads of stuff just recently delivered in Belarus. Just tons of equipment. They're just throwing all kind of equipment around these borders, mobilizing ships. Oh, got all kind of landing amphibious vehicles. They got airborne troops. They got all kind of stuff out there ready to just blitzkrieg into Ukraine. Now, and there's also was a legend. Yeah, I may have to get in this a little bit. Hang on a minute. So, first off, the indicators are very high that Russia may be rolling in. The indicators are also very high that we may respond. Will we actually attack those forces? We said we weren't going. The United States said they weren't going to commit troops, although we have troops that are training. Yeah, we emptied our embassy out, right? And so is, I think, Germany and UK. Not emptied, but we took out non-essential personnel, family members. So we're getting ready. We're getting ready for something. We're sending a lot of stuff over there. You bet your pants that whatever it is that the United States or NATO is planning is classified. As much as bumbling Biden is running around talking, he might be talking some accidentally or supposedly accidentally to sleight of hand. Just like we fooled the Germans with the D-Day. The only reason we succeeded with D-Day is we had them totally convinced we were going to attack over here, and we attacked over here. And they were so convinced that we were going to attack over here. Our deception was so good. And when we started hitting them over here, the Germans didn't want to allocate forces over there because they still thought the main force was coming over here. They thought that was a diversion. You know, that convinced. Very good. So yes, that's it. War is the art of deception is a huge part of warfare. I hope Biden understands that. I hope those the Pentagon officials understand that. But where we should be going in, where we shouldn't, you know, that's a whole different ball of wax. What I'm telling you is what is. And what is, no, I don't want to sound like Clinton. It all depends on what the definition of is. Oh my gosh. What you got to bear in mind is this: we're on the precipice of something ugly, and you can expect it to impact us here. The least impact is more supply chain disruption. Yeah, it's just what we need. More. I just did a video on that. Oh yeah, railroads are going on strike too. On top of all the other stuff I said, I meant to mention that yesterday. But look, guys, we are on the cusp of such disruptions to our economy, the supply chain. If they put a big cyber attack on us, even if it's just like pipelines, it could be major. But if they take out our grid, ooh, it would be, and if especially if they MP it, yeah, we're guys, we're toast. We're toast. We are toast. So we don't want that to happen. Then again, nuclear war, actually taking out a grid is just about as bad. If the nuclear war avoids our grid, but it'll probably take our grid out too. So yeah, nuclear war, grid down. These are very nasty possible scenarios. We're talking, this could go all the way, this could escalate. We don't know how far it can go. Let's hope cooler heads prevail, even if we go to war. Let's hope it stays conventional. We'll be fighting Russia or China. But I think the key to keep it conventional is we don't threaten the actual existence of the powers that be over there. We just knock them out of wherever they're going. We take away their new prizes, their possessions. If you got to go to war and you got to fight them in the theater. If you've taken it home, they're going to respond. They're going to respond with bigger, worse stuff. Let's hope it don't come to that. Let's hope it don't come to any of this. Warfare is bad. You got to defend yourself. But, you know, look, I ain't calling the shots here, guys. I'm not calling the shots. Okay, now we're going to guess. There's two school of thoughts about this whole thing. Putin bad, Putin good. Putin good side, which my, you know, a guy who I really follow and admire, Dr. Steve Turley. And he's got a YouTube channel, talks about conservatism, and he believes conservatism is on the resurgence, and that the world is turning more religious. It's getting more, people are becoming more identifying with who they are and where they come from, that countries are splitting up, that wokeism is on the way out, that globalism is on the way out. So he's talking about a post-globalist society. That's one of the things he talks about, new age of conservatism. He believes that's happening. Maybe he can talk to young people in America. It's happening in a lot of places, maybe. And maybe it will happen here. But he thinks Russia is part of that. And in part they are, because Russia has had a reawakening of their Orthodox Christianity. Putin has supported that. Putin's mama was Christian. She raised him, you know, kind of clandestinely as Christian. He wasn't supposed to be that way in the Soviet Union, especially somebody going to the KGB. So you could see, you know, and Putin did kind of take over, you know, in a time when America was picking the bones clean of Russia. So he, you know, kind of protected his country. And so he was looking at the interest of his country to a large degree. And he has supported a lot of morality type things, which goes against the many of the powers in the West that are, you know, predominant today, the wokeism. So Steve Turley thinks that, you know, that we're going to war for money, but also to maintain and advance Western wokeism, which Russia and China and a lot of other, you know, Islamic countries are pushing against. So he thinks that that's a good thing. Tucker Carlson is not anti-Russian. Now, on the other side, the Putin bad side, Putin bad says, look, Putin is took out a lot of innocent Ukrainians back in the first war, and since with the rebellion and insurgency in Donbass, that he is. But one of the things that does weigh heavily on the Putin bad side is when they put the troops in Kazakhstan and they went after the protesters. Yeah, they did. So it was very ugly. I don't know if you saw the videos, but they took out a lot of people. So that was not pretty, guys. That was not pretty. It was not innocent. Not exactly what I call a Christian thing to do. So you got to remember something. My dad always taught me one thing. He said there's good and bad in everyone. Every single person has good and bad in them. The Chinese called it yin and yang. And some of the yin is bigger and some of the yang is bigger. So just got to remember that. But my dad told me even the most evil person in the world was just a little bit of good, and the most good person in the world, just a little bit of evil. Nobody's perfectly good or perfectly evil. You know, that may be part of the theme of, you know, I thought Star Wars was stupid when I first saw it. They had, you can't hear sound in space in a vacuum. You can't see lasers. I already knew this stuff when I was a kid watching this, when I was in high school. You see the laser beams flash and you hear starships blow up and you fly right through the rubble, which would have destroyed you, the starship you blew up, But it's Hollywood. So so I had a hard time because the science was so bad in the first movie. But the second movie, the storyline really caught me. But one of the things that appealed to me, especially toward the end, was Luke Skywalker saw a little bit of good in Darth Vader, and he tried to pull it out of him. In the very end, he succeeded. But Darth Vader did a lot of evil, lots. Yeah, especially when you saw the prequels. It's like, oh my gosh, that was nasty. But that's fiction. Push that aside. But in reality, people are somewhat like that too. It doesn't mean that somebody shouldn't face consequences for what they do. Okay, my friends? And it does not at all mean that. And if you commit the crime, you do the time, or whatever else the punishment might ought to be that fits it. So Putin is and look, Putin, the presidents of the United States, both sides, we got ugliness all over the world in our world leadership. I've told you many times, the problem today isn't the peoples, it's the governments that play us against each other. And it's the same with China, it's the same with Russia, anywhere in the world, and find good people in every single country, in every hamlet, every village, every town, every shire, every block, hamlet, out in the sticks. You'll find people give the shirt off their back, good-hearted people, just like you and me. They only want, to be able to make a living and support their family and raise their kids. That's the most important thing that people want, or at least to have, a successful, comfortable life. What's so bad about that? But the governments find ways to play us against each other. That's how they stay in power to a large degree. Well, everything's their fault. You support me, I'll take care of you and protect you against those. Whatever, it's a game. It's played real hard to the hilt in nations like North Korea. Hitler played that. It's all, he said everything was the fault of the Jews. Well, we know that he played that up, and other people play that up, and organizations even in this country play that up, where they pit, against each other. So that's a very unfortunate thing. Power politics is what that is. Politics of division. So the reason I bring that up is to paint the leadership. In the United States, we got Biden, who seemed like he couldn't tie his shoes. I know he has a problem walking up and downstairs. He seems really confused a lot, no matter what side of the spectrum you're on. But look, guys, look what the United States did in Benghazi. Look what the United States did taking out Gaddafi. I don't think that was right. Some of these color revolutions that the United States supported was not right. Yet there was a color revolution tried to arise spontaneously in Iran, and we didn't support that one. Interesting. Well, Iran's supposed to be the big boogeyman. Maybe we wanted that big boogeyman. It's interesting how quick the Obama administration negotiated deals with them, how quick Biden wanted to, but apparently that's a little too late. That train's left the shed, seemingly. Now, on the other side, and look, the stuff we do with Predator drones, that's awful. Oh, you got a bad guy, so you go after him, but you take out an entire wedding party, including a lot of innocents. That's not right. There's a lot of things that the United States have done that is not right. Taking out the duly elected president of Iran and putting the Shah in was not right. We have meddled in elections. We have meddled in, Ukrainian president who previously favored Russia got taken out in a coup backed by apparently our CIA. And here's where it comes in. There's a rumor by the British that the Russians are going to do that. Oh my God, Russia's going to go in and do a coup and put their guy in power, their puppet president, Putin's puppet president into Ukraine. That's what happens. The guy they fingered as being Putin's puppet president, Moravi, has a pro-Russian bone in his body. Hey, UK, you blew that one. Russians are laughing at you for pulling that story. So, guys, so you can see on our side, there's war hawks who want war. And they exist in the Democrats seem to really hate Russia. And again, it may be because Russia's anti-woke. So there's probably some truth to that. But Putin's no innocent person either. It's KGB. So what I say is this. We got good and bad on our side, and they got good and bad on their side. It's a darn shame we got to face each other and fight. That is the shame of it all. Putin is no innocent. Neither is Biden. Neither is any of the world leaders today. None of them are innocent. None of them are, peachy squeaky clean. They all smell to high heaven, if you ask me, every single one of them. Putin is an animal, and if he pulled some stuff with Chechnya. I think there was a flag not so true that he used, kind of help advance himself into power. And he did put the Chechnyan rebellion down, but did he overdo it? Did he overplay it? And should they have been free? I'll tell you all the time that people, groups should be owned by another organization outside. If a group or area wants to be free, they should be free to go. And that's one of the problems that the Russian ambition to rebuild their empire. They want to take in a lot of peoples who don't want to be part of them. That's a problem with China, with Tibet, with the Uyghurs in Xinjiang. They want to take in Hong Kong, Taiwan. They want people that don't want to be part of them. They want to possess them. You're mine. You remember me talking about that? It's not right. It's never right. It's not right if we do it here in America. It's not right for anybody to grab and hold and try to possess the people that don't want to be part of them. The Basque, if they want to get split up, let them go. Quebec, if they want to go, let them go. Don't hold on to them. Let them vote. And then it goes with Ukrainians, by and large, do not want to be a possession of Russia, even though Russia thinks they're theirs. However, some regions might want to join Russia. And I think that is the basis of a potential peace treaty if we work it really hard and work it really fast. But apparently we don't seem to want to do that, and neither do they. Apparently everybody just wants war. That's a shame. But Russia, guys, they like to see their ethnic divisions in Ukraine be at least autonomous and not governed by the Ukrainians. When the Ukrainians have been kind of rough on them, seemingly, at least according to the Russians. According to Lee Wilbarger, it's the other way around. Hey, I'm not over there. He was actually. Crimea, voted to be Russian. Crimea was Russian originally. Russia gave Crimea to Ukraine when they brought Ukraine into this Soviet Union. So if look, Russia would definitely fight a nuclear war to keep Ukraine. There's the basis negotiation. Okay, here's what I would propose. You say, okay, Russia, you can have Ukraine, you can have Donbass. Or let Donbass be a totally autonomous region. That's what you negotiate first. And so we won't put any offensive strategic missile systems in Eastern Europe. We don't have any there now. We don't have them in Europe. We've got a few bombers with some nukes. Somebody said, "Oh, well, we're putting TOW missiles in." In the comments, TOW missiles are not strategic missiles. Russia claimed they're worried about stuff that could take out their cities. A TOW missile is an anti-tank missile. It's not going to take Moscow out. It's only going to take out invaders. And so if you want to send TOW missiles to Ukraine, by all means, ship tons of them to Ukraine and help the Ukrainians defend themselves. I have no issue with TOW missiles or things like that, guys. Yeah, TOW missiles, seemingly offensive, that can be used as a weapon, but in a sense, this is a defensive weapon because it's there to stop invading tanks. So, yeah. The United States is not going to invade Russia. If Russia's paranoid about that, that's goofy. Look, we know that. No, does Germany want to invade Russia? No, Germany wants to do business with Russia. Germany wants their gas. So maybe Marcom or France. France did it once, but like they got messed up. So did Germany when they tried. Everybody that's ever invaded Russia ran into the fact that the Russian environment in that country is harsh. It's cold. It's difficult. And when the Russians slash and burn everything in front of you, where you got nowhere to sleep, nowhere to stay, no buildings, no food, that's a long line for logistical support, and they're hammering you, the guerrillas from all sides. Yeah, you can't win invading Russia. You can't win invading China. Either one is hopeless. They shouldn't, either one. worry about getting invaded. They might worry about us strategically attacking them, but we got enough stuff over here to do that. We don't have to go over there for that. But they got an advantage on us because we're surrounded by oceans, and with their hypersonic missiles and their submarines that can just go up and down, right off the international waters around America. They got a whole lot more access to us than we got to them. So their whole concern there is a little bit on the, it ain't even, it ain't 1-to-1. And we don't have those kind of weapons there anyway. We got defensive weapons like Aegis ashore, and that is a system that basically does a direct kinetic kill. No, Aegis have nuclear war. They're not sized to carry the heavy nuclear warheads. All they got to carry is a little brilliant package that can bang straight into something else. You don't have to be as heavy as a nuclear warhead. You don't have to have all the radiation handling stuff. So they're really a different missile system than a nuclear missile. So there you go. Now, whatever the case is, if we had to negotiate backing them off a little bit, if they would absolutely give us guarantees of peace, but neither side's been all that great darn treaties with each other, so we know that's true too. They accuse us of not doing it. We accuse them of not doing it. And we did. At least we pulled out the one we pulled out. But they actually cheat on treaties. That's happened too. So, all right, I've been on this bad long enough. There's this Putin bad, Putin good, Biden bad, Biden good. Any world leader, there's good and bad in all of them. I think there's more bad in any of them than not. But look, I've been to Russia. It's a lovely country, full of lovely people. It's beautiful over there. I had a darn good time in Russia. They made me feel at home, except for a few of those guys, military types, standing there looking at me. I knew I was American. It stared at me. I just minded my business. I wouldn't mess with those guys. They didn't bother me. I'll be a little different today with all the tension. Well, yeah, they might would bother me today, but they didn't in 2010. Didn't bother me, just kept an eye on me. But hey, I went to Rock Cosmos, I went to Inky. I was there for government agencies, top level, dealing with some, a lot of good people, a lot of good engineers. I had, they were good people. It's a shame. We should not want to have to fight each other. We shouldn't have to do that. We shouldn't want to, but it looks like it may be coming. So what you need to know from your level, get ready. Watch my video, what to do in the first 24 hours, post a couple of days ago, Stacy Savicki. Watch today, what to do in the next 24 hours. Watch my nuclear bug out video, watch my bug out video. Just get ready, my friends, get ready. Get ready, prepare like you've never prepared before. Go to the store, go right now. Buy dried beans, buy rice, buy seeds, whatever you can get. Get ready. Buy bang bang. Buy the heavy metal propellers. You know what I mean? Freedom seeds, some people call it. Just get ready. Take care of yourself. Take care of your family. Most of all, we don't know how long we got. Stop. If there's a flower to smell, smell it. Might not be no flowers in a few weeks. Tell everyone you know that you love what you love. Get right with your maker. Be centered. It may hit the fan hard, but don't panic. You're right with your maker, and you tell your family you love them, you have a plan to get together, and pay attention to these videos we're putting out, especially that first 24 hour and the next one. I'm going to do an interview with General Chrosniak here, and I think we're doing it Wednesday, tomorrow. So I might do one with Lee Holbarger soon, because he's been in Ukraine, by the way. He's very anti-Putin, very anti-Russian. But he's been in Ukraine. He's seen that side of it. So I appreciate his perspective. But like I said, I think there's good and bad in all of them. I think they all stink when it comes to leaderships, because the time they perked up that level, they've done a lot of nasty stuff to get there, unfortunately, in my humble opinion. All right, my friend. get ready. Get ready. It's my final thing. And well, next to final. Well, my final thing is this. Light dispels dark. Love dispels hate. We got to dispel the hate in the world. We can start with ourselves and let it radiate out one person at a time. So go out and shine your love light in the world while you can, and pray. Greg.